All right, live. Little bit of a build activation. While I have some time. That's what's happening. Surprise, surprise. I don't expect anybody here, but this is a little bit better angle to try to. What's going on? Nothing stock. I'm seeing if I can't get some decent out of this Promoto live stream. That would be awesome. No, Basecamp. Just messing around, building for a minute. Yeah, get kind of experimenting, seeing what I get with different camera angles, so to speak. That's what's up. So yeah, page 22 of the Basecamp build. What's up, Ann? SPMS 664. It's really a basher servo, but the torque is pretty good. And because this Basecamp is going to end up a pre-runner, that's what I'm going for right now. Yes, that is what's happening. Peter Griffin, what's happening? So yeah, just built the links up on video last night. And Dad, that showed up super fast. It was like yesterday. I shipped it. Awesome. So we are on page 22. If you're following along, ding, turn the page. Page 22 of the Basecamp build. The manual is pretty good. What's up, Flapping Lips? But it is hard to discern sometimes what it is you're looking at in the book. So I'm just making a brief statement about the links. So the 4 links go to the rear. And if you did your rod ends the way you're supposed to, you've got these beveled links, which are the upper on the rear. And then these, you're going to end up having 4 links left. And it's not exactly clear from the picture what's what. There are 2 shorter ones left and 2 longer ones left when you get to this point. So the 3 link is on the front, and the long links that are left out of the 4 will go on the front, and the shorter ones to the rear. And I know this because this is my 4th one. And I remember when I stretched out my last pre-runner, what I did was I needed to stretch the links out. So I had these left over because I didn't need them on the front of the pre-runner. They're 10 millimeters longer than these, which was perfect. So I just took them off. I didn't need them and put these ends on them and made it happen. So I know for a fact the 2 longer ones go at the front, and you got your short one there, and that's by the book, and they give you the measurement on that one. But these last 4, it's just a picture, and it's hard to tell which is short and which is longer. The short ones go in the back, and the long ones in the front. And then, of course, these are long as well, but they give you the measurement. So there's kind of no doubt about what's going on with that. Okay. So it is servo. I'm going by the book on this. So servo time is next, and we can just shoot the breeze. I am just here trying to get some things done before this evening's events. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Skid plates are coming around the mountain when she comes. We're going to need this link here. We're getting ready to do pan hard and shock tower kind of stuff, and chassis will be coming very soon. This thing's going to start really coming together here in a minute. Sounds like a good time. I'm just tidying up my workspace. Nice. I need to do that. Every time I do one of these projects, I end up, it looks like a whirlwind went off. So, but that's okay. All right. So we're just getting our pieces together. What we're going to need, 25 and 23 tooth servo arms come with the kit, which is nice. I don't usually use the receiver box, but if you do, you get the silicone gasket and kind of the wire keeper for the side of the box. I don't usually use them. But I have a handful of receiver boxes now left over from Basecamp builds. Basecamp beats Bears Battlestar Galactica. I know we're going to need these bits are for the servo mount, and there should be, this is bag F5, so to speak. I need this. Just doing an inventory, and it's what I always do. And then I'll be looking at the screws to see what I need here in a minute. So let's see, there's a servo tray, there's a servo mount. Which arm does this take? Looks like a 25. Yep, 25. Yeah. How are y'all, though? How you guys doing? Let's see what else. Screw time. All right, there's the metal pan hard. We need 1/2 of the shot tower, it looks like. And then we can inventory the screws, so to speak. Just playing with different angles, to be honest. You know what I mean? That's a rear one. That's a rear one. Fine as frog's hair. And this is that one. Bet, as they say. Yeah, last night, you guys couldn't see a thing I was doing. And I was like, you know what? Let me clear out the memory and let the stream record this and go from there. So we'll see. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's showing up good. Maybe it is. I'm going for it, though. Can you? Yeah, you can hear me. Yeah. These tutorials are crazy, especially if you don't really have to do it right. You would have a very nice looking light setup for this. I think RC modified 705. What up? Lots of screws here to choose. Need one of those. Most of the screw packs are kind of small, but this one had a ton in it. So you get to watch me sort out screws. One of those. One of those. I love that it's actual size in the manual, though, for finding and checking it. It also tells you the measurement, and I do have a little widget I can measure with, but looking at the book works for me as well in most cases. Let's see, this one's just a little longer. Boom. Okay. So once you inventory the parts, I like to get them out of my way. And I usually build right on these manuals. Makes it pretty easy. And you do have to spend a little time kind of trying to decipher what's what sometimes. And it's nice having for me other rigs to look at. Where's the servo on this one? Driver. Okay. Which is this side here. This dude goes like this. If you don't use these little mounts, you'll wonder why there's nowhere to put your stuff. Leave it kind of loose for a minute. Yeah, I hope you guys are all right. Apparently you got not much going on if you've got time to watch this. Servo not included. And I tend to not, I do really go by the book on these. I tend to not get too far ahead. There are some things that I will go ahead and jump the shark. But I try to just follow what it says. Say there's supposed to be 4 of those screws. I don't think so, homie. That's all right. I got a couple more. That'll do. That'll do. Promoto live stream. Those look like a good time. I made a video on the Promoto, but they weren't mine. I filmed 2 guys that had them. It was at a racetrack. I think it was pretty good. It was fun. And yeah, look, this is basically a basher servo, but the torque was good on the specs. So I'm like, that's what I'm using. And this one, I mean, this is eventually going to be a pre-runner, which goes fast. So I was like, you know what? That's fine. Let's treat it like a basher a little bit with the stuff I set it up with. So there are 2 fixed points, and then that little bracket that I put on, it can slide. So might as well set the fixed points before you set the slide, if you catch my meaning. All right, there's that. Servo arm's on, but it's not obviously been centered yet. But I'll go ahead and put the screw in it, just so it's where I need it when I need it. Dad, you getting into that project yet? I'm wondering how that motor's going to fit for you. All right, so that little part's done. Now they're showing the panhard and shock tower passenger side. And it basically fits. There's a notch in it right here. Which tells you where it goes. So this is cool. The earlier 10.2s didn't have this kind of thing. And first of all, make stuff better. I'm building it as a base camp just to do a whole video on a build of a base camp. And then I'm going to strip it down to make it the twin I-beam. So there's going to be 2 separate tutorials basically off of this chassis. And to answer the question, I'm still kind of on the fence about what body, but the power system I'm using is the old Losi Tenacity power system, which is a 3150 kV. I've got a handful of different pinions, and even I can throw a 42 spur gear on here if I want. And then if that doesn't give me what I want, I can do what I need to the differential. The body, I don't know yet. I have a Morvair body just sitting here, Lexan. I have an extra pre-runner truck body that I had done before, and I could use it, but I'm thinking about 3D printing a Corvair body. So I've got some choices. I definitely have some choices. All right. And then the link goes on. I could just simply look at one of the crawlers I've built already, but I do okay with the pictures most of the time. Nice. What up, Jason? That motor's going to be the issue. Yeah. Sometimes you got to study the picture for a minute to figure out what it is you got to do. Okay, so that's going to be threaded in there. So, all right, so the link goes with the angle up and right there with a 14 millimeter. Yes, 14 millimeter, 2 millimeter drive screw. Yep, that is threaded. Because I was like looking for a nut or something for the backside. It's not necessary. I should Loctite it, to be honest with you. So let's do that. But yeah, we've done some pre-runners already. Who was asking? I don't know if you've seen those videos yet, but I got a whole playlist of pre-runners. There's like 3 or 4 of us that have been making them, and we've got them we're running them at 25 miles an hour, but we've got them to go 35, 38 miles an hour. So way too much for what it is. 25 miles an hour is, I think, the sweet spot for these. Yeah. So that's what I'm aiming for. And I've got enough gearing options left over from the experiment on the first one to, I think, be able to hit 25 without needing to change the differential, which is nice because if I blow a differential, I've got a spare that's the same. The teeth on the stock differentials are 30/8. So it's the output drive has 8 teeth and the ring gear has 30. And I've got a 27/8 in the rear end of mine now, and it's pretty good. It's fast. Okay, so that little part F5 is done. Now it starts to really come together. I mean, they've got me grabbing one of the chassis rails, skid plates. Yeah, so this part, this one, skid plate. I mean, it's shaping up. Let's see. There's a front. This as well. The front bumper mount business. There's that. Chassis rail time. The hot spoon. Yeah. I tend to, yeah, like I say, I go with a book on these because you get yourself in trouble if you don't. So if this is what it's wanting, it's what I'm doing. Okay. Does this stuff look fuzzy to y'all, or do you see it better than I'm seeing it? Curious. Because as much as I intend to get a video here, if it's garbage, it's not happening. All right, screw sorting time. That's not it. It must be the most fun on the internet right now. Watching a dude pick the screws out. Those screws I said I was missing, I think I found them. I had other ones anyway. But I have a lot of extra screws. It's fine. It's fine. It's not the complete end of the world, but I do try to keep it what they asked for. You can see it good? Okay, good. Dude, one little more. Come on. I think that's going to be it. The confusing thing is like, what do you want me to put in first? You know? So when in doubt, I guess start at one end. So for me, that's going to be, we'll get this bumper mount going. It's kind of like reading left to right. And this dude goes here. Yep. It's 8.5. This little screw there. And you have to fight the urge to do both sometimes because the next piece is a bigger screw because it's going to do a multiple job. And to not get ahead of myself here, we'll make sure. Okay, yep. So this is one of the you whether you're gonna use body posts or not, you can hide the body posts by utilizing these little plates here, but you need them regardless, because they mend these pieces together, so to say. And then a bigger screw, which is the 7/8. So the shock tower and panhard go on next, and it comes over the top of this back screw on that one. Unless I'm out of my mind, which is definitely possible. Nope, I was right. That's it. And because it's a metal piece on top of the plastic piece, that's why it takes a longer screw than the first one. Pretty sweet. And once I feel the resistance, that's when I try to finish it up by hand. Otherwise, you'll just strip it out right away. So yeah, panhard is hanging there. Yeah, and the front bumper mount has begun. Now we can do, again, when I also am in doubt, I'm going left to right. So now we can go in with, oh, nope, this is good. I didn't mess up like I thought I did. So that's the 1-0. That's the long screw. It's going to go in through, the long screw is getting ready to go in through here and into, my shirt's making it hard for you to see probably. There we go. The light. Through here's where I'm going next. And then one back. All right. And that servo mount bracket business slides into the chassis rail pretty good. It's hard to get that wrong. So that's going here. You can hear when it starts to take, which is kind of nice too. All right, so now that it's started, I can get it in some. And then there will be one more that goes here, and it's a shorty. It's a 4.6. I'm going to get it started too. When in doubt, wiggle it out. There. Nice. All right. We're getting there. Ann Golden says, tell me about the screwdriver. It's a DeWalt gyro style screwdriver that there's no button on it except to it's kind of like a safety. So if I push this button, you hear it wanting to work, but nothing's really spinning. But if I turn my hand left, it goes left. If I turn my hand right, it goes right. So it's got AS3X. So it no button except just to say I want it. Yes, press it on. But really nothing's happening here until I move my hand. And so you can go real slow or speed it up. It's kind of cool. So a friend of mine, Mike Kennedy, bought this for the channel years ago. And honestly, I am embarrassed to say I had this for quite a while before I knew how to use it. I have another one that is just, button, more conventional, so to speak. But I use this one all the time. All the time. All right, so this little piece goes on next. Right there. And this you do want to put it on because eventually that's going to be where your body posts are going to mount to, or if you decide to mount the body that way. You got to start somewhere. So it seems weird just doing one side at a time, but that's what it says. And then this seems like folly to me, but the skid plate's going on next. And it fits all so nicely. You can't really get it wrong. And you need it for later as well. And you're not going to screw the whole thing together because you've got a skid plate that's got to come into the middle of that. So the only screw we're doing is this one here. There's a cutout on that chassis rail for that to slide in. Pretty slick. That's it. And it's this little tiny guy. Yeah, these are clumsy, these builds, trying to film it. I ain't gonna lie. It's a nice idea. It comes in from the outside. Badass is right. So now we're on F7 over here, page wise, and it's going to be the other chassis rail for the back end. This bracket and this one, stuff that I know is coming off later, which is hilarious. Let's see. All right, that rear shock tower activate, which that will come off as well later. And you really do. I mean, studying the picture really does help, making sure you get it right. And sometimes it's hard to discern, but you know once you get there, you know. Yep. So that's the screwdriver story. When the time comes, I will be nipping it. All right, screws. So sometimes when it says I only need one, I don't believe it. That one's too short. That's right. And when they're wrong, they're only wrong by a smidge. But it makes sense to try to get it right. So I need two of those. I mean, you'll survive if you get the wrong screws sometimes, but I say do the best you can so you don't run out of the right ones. Because some are critical more than others. Okay. This goes in the chassis rail. And it's got an angle to it, so it's only going to go the way it has to go. There's a flange piece there, so you can't really get that wrong. But if you're not careful, you'll get ahead of yourself. Because sometimes these pieces will share. Bits. Man, I'm a fool. That is the front chassis. No wonder it wasn't lining up. Come on. What's wrong with you? Duh. Okay. Makes more sense now. I've got the correct chassis rail. I had the other front. All right. So the illustration shows you exactly what's going on with the shock tower and this cross member business using the same screws to hold it together. So we'll start with one of those 7/8. And that one's a 4.6, which is smaller in length. Okay. Now they're showing this piece coming in. And if you pay, I mean, the illustration does do a good job. You just have to pay attention to what it is you're seeing and where they want you to screw it in. So the holes here with the tapers, see how they're offset, not straight across from each other? Well, this has got an offset as well. So, I mean, it's telling you how it goes. Because obviously they need to be straight up. So that's the deal there. The body post should be straight up, so you know that's how you're going to mount this. Okay, and for those screws, one's a 7, they're both 7/8, which means I used the wrong size somewhere. Did I though? That's fine. We'll get it started on this top one. Yeah, one of these I used wrong already. I read the picture wrong. It's easy to do. Seven, 8, and another 7/8, which is one of these. Probably the one that's about to come through the back side of the other. If I had to guess. Yep. And you can just manhandle it. When you start it and it's not really going, manhandle it, wiggle, and it'll go. And then the non-tapered head screw part of this goes there. So that's F7 by the book. So that's the rear part of the left side. We did the front left a second ago. And now we're getting ready to get this craziness done, which is bringing in the skid plate. Yep. Bringing in the skid plate. Let me show you. And the chassis rails together. So this illustration here is what's happening next. But it's pretty good at telling you what's going on, you know? And what's the worst thing? You got to do it twice to get it right sometimes. No big deal. Come on, doggy. Atta girl. But yeah, this thing is really starting to come together. sometimes I'll tell you as well, when you don't know which screws they're talking about, if you have a hard time trying to see what it's telling you, turn the page, because it can easily all be revealed on the next page half the time. So just for example, this is exactly one of those places where this happens. So this is where we're at. You got a skid plate in the way a little bit, right? On the one chassis rail that's going to make it a little bit, okay, which holes, what am I doing here? And then the next page, it's the top one. I want to show you this graphic here makes it a little bit more understandable. So when in doubt, turn the page. Ding. There, that is chassis rail C channel. So there's only 2 screws on this front half, and then it's the first screw on this one that's going to go in the front one on that. So it's in a way that makes it kind of easy. The crazy thing is when you do have to fold in this at the same time, but it's all doable. And there's actually, yeah. Pretty cool. It's easy. So as long as the first one here, and you could adjust chassis wheelbase, but when you do that, you have to also deal with links and drive shafts. So I always build it here by the book. So let's see, 2 of those. One and 2. Okay. So yeah, these are going to come in through, this all happens at once, where the skid plate, the chassis rail, and the transmission skid plate, this skid plate, and all this stuff comes together here. So it's a thing, but it's not bad. And what's kind of nice is once these holes are lined up, and like I said, it's the first one on the rear rail that's going to be lined up with the hole, as was confirmed. You can kind of press that in, it'll hold itself for you pretty good. And that was again confirmed over here. And then the skid plate, of course, the 4 link goes to the rear and the 3 to the front, but they're going to screw in, you see the holes, but there's also 2 little nubs. So this keys in fairly nicely in there, which is nice. It's just holding it all while you, son of a gun, while you do it is the trick. And you got these big gangly deals that you really got to do them ahead of time, as the book laid out. It's just a little awkward trying to hold it. Can you guys see what's happening? And you're going to look there, but that's for these. So you're up into here is where you're at, actually. This is where 3 hands are nice to have. I do like that the screwdriver has a little light on it. And you can feel it all come together. Nice. Got it. I'm going to be undoing all of this. So that's that. Rear end and front side of the left side are together. Pretty cool. And now you're just bringing together the other side now. And instead of thinking for myself, I default to the book. So it's showing the rear cross member shock tower tying in here. Makes sense. So we're starting with the rear chassis rail, rear shock tower, and this big old bumper bracket, and eventually the skid. We're going to need that in a minute. Let's see, axles, transmission ramification, rear bumper. Cool stuff. The hardest part is getting your screws sorted sometimes, I'm telling you. When you build the drive shafts, they give you the measurements because there's different sizes of the telescoping parts. The middle sections that go to the transmission are the same 26 millimeter bits. And then one of the two, the front or the rear, is the longer other half. And it says in the book. So the other half is on one is 38, and on the other one it's something else. Easy. All right, screws. Two of those. One. Thanks for hanging out with me. I feel bad in a way because this is probably boring to watch, but I like it. I like you just the way you are. Mr. Rogers style. Oh my gosh. I think one of these days I'll sort them out ahead of time by size and make it easy just to read and pick. That's, I need two of those. And two a little bit longer now. This probably drives some of you guys nuts. Sometimes it's easier to just get the nopes out of the way. Dad says he likes it. Cool. All right, one little more. But it's better to have them picked out already, because what's going to happen, you'll end up having your hands on something weird trying to hold it. And it's like, and whatever you had to do on the one side, you're going to have to do it on the other for the most part. What's cool is that, this stuff is already holding itself up because you've got one. And then you get to where you remember what goes where and whatnot. So that's going to sandwich on. And let's see, I got it wrong the last time. And another thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get this in its spot. And that's got a little one. Oh yeah, I need two of those. Bet, as the kids would say. All right, I'll go ahead and get it in on this one. You're welcome. You're keeping me company. Cool, man. Me too. You guys as well. Same. I got to a point last night. I was filming, and later on, because I popped in live for a minute last night and did the links with you. And then I got the skid plate put together, the links where they go. And then I was like, all right, it's late. I'm done for now. Knowing this stuff was, if I went ahead and at 2 a.m. went for the front end, I might have messed something up. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you do, but it's cool if you get it right the first time as well. All right, so now before you get excited and start screwing stuff together, you got to get your also like kind of double checking that these things are lining up the way they're supposed to. And they are. Cool. So shock tower business. So kind of line up the back side here. Everything in right. Yeah. Should see daylight. Tells you where you're, if you're close. Once you get one, the rest are usually pretty good, which is kind of cool. And it's a 46. Yep. the links do get one. Pretty soon the axles and everything is happening, so it won't be too bad anymore. That sounds better already. Yeah, like I said, you can hear it when it starts going. Okay, little 115. That's one of these. Boom. And the 7/8 goes at the top. And I did the same thing I did last time. No, I didn't. Nope, it's good. It is going to be sweet. I've done a few of these. I really like the Basecamp for a crawler platform. I've done 3D printed bodies on them. I've got a bunch of RTRs this way that I like a lot. And I think they're a great platform. And there's things you can do to make it your own as far as geometry and things like that as well. You know, if you want to stretch it out or do this or do that, you definitely can with these. We've made 3D printed bodies work on them and pre-runners and all kinds of stuff. And it's a great platform. Down and to the right. In your case, though, let's see, it's kind of backwards. Hold on, Pops, I'll tell you. Okay, there's 2 more little screws, and they are going to be for the other side of the bumper. It's got to be it. I'm not missing any, so it should be fine. Hold on, Dad. I'll look at a pusher I got. There's that rear bumper business. Yeah, so we're I mean, really very close to axle stuff coming up. Give me a second here.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah, baby, is it time to go?
Yeah.
What time is it? I mean, like it's time right now?
No, 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
5 to 10.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm building this and I'm on TV with some of my buddies. You look great. I can't wait to go watch you. It'll be fun. We'll get out of here soon, okay?
I love you.
Love you. Dad, I'd say this is still down and right. Yeah, it is. So if you're it's down and to the right still. Now, I'll tell you, just so you can verify, this prop spins to the right. So if yours spins to the other way, it'll be left, down and left. But yeah, this one has a down and right still. And it's not a pusher prop, it's just a regular prop on backwards, which is how we kind of thought your project out. So I think down and right is still appropriate. All I know about this fancy holiday stuff is there better be a meal involved. There better be a meal involved. All right, so I'm in the book now, and it's front rail time. So let's see, what are we looking at here? We've got a couple 16ers. That's too big. That's looks perfect, but it's not. It's also too big. Okay, one of those. That's that. And you get to a point where you really don't have a lot of screws left. It gets easier. All right. And most of the bags, there's not as many as this one. This bag here, there's a ton that you open up to get it going. There it is. Okay, so yeah, there were skid plate time, chassis rail, all that. The hole is appropriate. Again, there's little pins there that key it in, which is slick. And this only can go there. And then line it up. The thing is about the lights is you guys can see way better than I can. I'm on the dark side of the moon over here. Awesome. There it is. You can't quite see what I'm doing, but wow, did that just get way better? Jason Earl 10 scale is fun. I've done a Vanquish Phoenix portal kit, RC 4-wheel drive. This is the 4th Basecamp kit. And I think they're a lot of fun. And the whole idea, Jason, is I'm trying to compile. I'm like, just like I've done with the Coyote upgrades, I plan on doing all this footage I'm compiling on this build here, which I've done a bunch. I filmed everything so far on this build. And so my goal is to put it all together into one video. And I mean, the manual's good, but it's nice to kind of see someone do it, I think, or talk through some of the weird things that you may not know if you haven't done one. Let's see, little 114 right here. Wild Bill, what up? If I'm really smart, I'll charge up this battery before I leave too on the driver. Okay, so there's only one shock tower left, and it has to be here. Yep. And the bumper mount. Nothing beats a video tutorial. Yeah, man. And I think kits are so fun. We've done so many things with these. I mean, really, we have a bunch of these 10-3s we've used for crawlers and now pre-runners as well. But I thought it'd be helpful. So I was like, you know what? Let me do absolutely dedicated base camp build. Am I missing a hole? No, I'm not. Gosh, why don't I make it scary for us? So let's see. This piece goes here. What's up, Reitza? That one goes there. Okay. And it takes a 885, which is that. Oh, those don't have to accommodate the panhard, so that's no problem on this one. I should get the shock tower in first. 4.6. Yeah, these don't have to sandwich in the panhard support. So this side is completely dedicated screws. Nothing really gets sandwiched on this, which is cool. All right. And then one more little one. Time to go. Okay. One more screw, y'all, and I'm saying goodbye. We ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mom,
Get in the car.
hurry up.
I'm coming now. Oh, battery's done. That's all right. So are we. Wild Bill, I'm going to print a Corvair body off for this. And I don't know if I'll use it on the pre-runner that this will become or a crawler. I'm not sure yet. But I will see you next time. I got to run. Thanks for coming by. Whole build video on this coming soon. Check out the rest of the videos on the channel if you haven't already. Most of you guys have. The pre-runner stuff is fun, and we got a ton of 10 scale crawler stuff, 6 scale as well. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.